everybody. I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. Happy New Year.
And welcome back.
Thank you very much. Actress Lisa Bonet is facing assault charges in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit stemming from an incident at a New York airport. Bonet allegedly attacked a photographer who was taking her picture.
The truth is that I took a picture of her. That's all I did. And the truth is she hurt me maybe permanently.
Michael Wehrman is claiming he was attacked with his friend Angela Corcoran, a celebrity photographer, while trying to take photos of Lisa Bonet with her baby and her husband, Lenny Kravitz. Wehrman markets star autographs. He and Corcoran had just finished taking pictures of Michael Jackson when they saw Bonet.
I just took the picture, and, I was pretty far away from them. And at that point, Lisa said I said no, and she kind of put her head down, and then she saw I wasn't going to take another picture, and that's when she kind of ran forward while holding her kid, and she just nailed me.
At the same time that she went for him, the husband went for me, and very intimidatingly ran over and bashed me with his chest and then grabbed me and wanted the film, and a lot of screaming and cursing, and, caused a big commotion. It was totally unprovoked.
Corcoran and Wehrman have filed a $24 million lawsuit against the couple, claiming they were viciously assaulted. Wehrman says he was kicked in the groin by Bonet and may be injured for life.
A minute doesn't go by when I'm not complaining how much it hurts.
Hopefully I'll be able to set a precedent so, celebrities will think twice about, spitting on somebody or pushing them or shoving them or harassing them, kicking, in the groin, which is, talk about, fighting dirty. That's like the worst thing you could do to somebody.
Bonet had no comment on the matter, but her attorney Jerry Edelstein was quoted as saying, "Imagine a strong man being assaulted by a little girl. It's silly."
There's an assault shaping up for the nation's magazine racks, and several sports magazines are clearly establishing beachheads in the swimsuit wars. So as the cold days of January roll by, here's an inside story to remind you that summer will in fact return. For much of the country, midwinter cold makes sunshine a distant memory. That's why, as sure as there's snow to shovel in January, there are also the swimsuit wars. Sports Illustrated magazine established the battleground. 1990 marked year 26 for the magazine's swimsuit issue, and by now its bikini beauties have become a major merchandising industry. SI sells calendars and diaries. They've made a making of the swimsuit issue video, and they've made superstars of their models, like Kathy Ireland. She's a favorite among the male readership, and she's a role model for the women readers, according to SI senior editor Julie Campbell.
And, they will write things like, I love getting the issue because I start working out now, so I'll look great in my swimsuit by June.
But there are the pretenders to SI's swimsuit throne. Sport magazine has entered the fray with its own swimsuit issue on newsstands last week for clear economic reasons.
It's a 70 to 80, if not a 90% increase over our other issues on a monthly basis. Here we go, girls.
And Inside Sports magazine is set to release its 9th annual swimsuit edition. Its hook is using celebrity models like Julie McCullough, formerly of Growing Pains, and Christian Alfonso of Falcon Crest. They'll bear the hot suits for 1990.
We've gone to almost 100 swimsuit manufacturers. They've given us their hot suits, the suits that they think are going to be the big sellers this year. And we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of suits to select the ones that we want to take pictures of.
Color sizzle best describes the electric blues, purples.
This is the newest frontier in the swimsuit wars, television. The syndicated Fashion Report has produced an hour-long swimsuit edition geared to warm up winter audiences with a preview of summer suits. Although the models for the production sometimes face some cooler than summer conditions while they were working.
Even if it's freezing, you have to smile. It's, that's modeling.
As a rule, less is more in swimwear, and less complicated would have been a favor to the models on the Fashion Report.
There were some occasions where we had bathing suits that were new and innovative with a very distinct design, and I personally couldn't figure out how to put it on. That was one that was my favorite. I wouldn't come out of the bathroom because I couldn't find which arm went in which place, and it didn't make sense to me at all. But we finally figured it out between about 4 people. We got it on and got it in place.
But what about the age-old question, are these women being exploited by showing some skin to melt the winter chill?
We're not selling sex, we're selling swimwear. And if the men enjoy looking at women who have nice figures, that's wonderful. But it's also for women. I don't think women will be offended by this at all.
Our inside story for tomorrow, the private life and public illness of Rock Hudson becomes a TV movie.
I love him. I hate what he did. But I still love him.
Rock Hudson, the death that blew the lid off the AIDS crisis. Our inside story tomorrow on Entertainment Tonight. New Year's is generally celebrated as a time for looking forward. Not so for Zsa Zsa Gabor, who got an unwelcome holiday reminder of her past crimes and misdemeanors at this year's Rose Parade. Among the Rose Parade's spectacle of floats, marching bands, and a queen in her court was a surprise participant, Zsa Zsa Gabor. Unlisted on the program and riding with an equestrian unit, Ms. Gabor was roundly booed at times by the spectators, but that didn't seem to bother her.
Some booed me, of course, but most people really loved me. I must say, I was very surprised. Darling, if I would read the press, what they write about me, I would also hate me, though.
There were also reports of boos for Senator John Glenn, the parade's Grand Marshal, who is currently being investigated by the Senate because of a savings and loan scandal. Another controversy marked the Rose Parade when several AIDS activists staged a sit-in. Kirk Cameron, riding in the next float, got a good view, as did the spectators, but many viewers at home saw very little, as some TV stations chose not to show it.
We're not going to give them the satisfaction of them trying to mess up our parade today, so let's just not even look at them.
On NBC, Barbara Eden and Blair Underwood quickly introduced a commercial.
And we'll be back right after this.
Back to Zsa Zsa, she and Senator Glenn may have set a new record for being booed in public. This year's Rose Parade was seen by more than 350 million television viewers around the world.
It was a rematch that promised plenty of excitement, a $5 million court battle between comedian Richard Belzer and championship wrestling star Hulk Hogan. But the two adversaries never even made it into the ring. At the last minute, they went to the mat behind closed doors and came up with an out-of-court settlement. The incident that prompted the $5 million lawsuit between comedian Richard Belzer and wrestlers Hulk Hogan and Mr. T occurred back in 1985. At that time, Belzer was the host of a cable TV show, Hot Properties. Hogan and Mr. T were promoting an upcoming WrestleMania tag team match when Belzer asked the Hulk to demonstrate a wrestling hold on him.
Now, the first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling
yes,
or professional wrestling are submission holds. You just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay?
all right.
It's called a front chin lock. How about it, T?
Keep him like that for a little while.
Belzer blacked out during the demonstration and hit his head on the floor. In his lawsuit, he accused Hogan of negligence and Mr. T of encouraging Hogan's behavior. The wrestler's attorney called the lawsuit a publicity stunt. Although Belzer was able to get up after he blacked out and introduce a commercial break, he later needed 9 stitches for the cut on his head. An attorney for Belzer says both sides have agreed not to release any details of the settlement as a condition of the agreement, which is as of yet unsigned. However, both sides have, quote, exchanged faxes.
Having two famous parents would seem to make almost any young actor's career a sure thing. But in Hollywood, there are no guarantees. For 18-year-old Josh Evans, the big break came unexpectedly in the new movie Born on the 4th of July.
Ronnie. Hey, Tommy. Good.
Josh Evans plays Vietnam vet Tom Cruise's younger brother in Born on the 4th of July. The role is that of a high school kid trying to understand his now paralyzed big brother's love-hate relationship with the Vietnam War. Evans told us this was a part he desperately wanted to play.
I had been reading about the project. He said, I got to get in on it. So I'm bothering the people, my manager, saying, can I please go on audition? I'd never been on anything. I was in a small part in a movie before. I'd never done anything before that.
Despite that, his reviews have been good. But then Josh may well have showbiz genes. Evans is the son of the long-ago divorced Ally McGraw and studio head Robert Evans. He says while his parents were supportive, fame and celebrity don't always guarantee success.
You don't make it because you have famous parents. You don't make it because you don't have famous parents. I mean, on the grand scale of things, I think it's a handicap more than an advantage because, I mean, you're not fresh. You're not starting from a fresh... You have to fight for your own individuality a lot of times, which is difficult.
What was not difficult for him was working alongside Tom Cruise.
You served your country. I mean, what'd you get out of it? I mean, look at you. Look at me.
Josh Evans says a rookie actor couldn't ask for a better star to work with.
He was just so compassionate. I mean, he helped me out. He sat, talked with me, rehearsed with me, and much more than I expected. Just extremely nice guy and really talented.
Josh is already preparing for his next role. He'll be playing a young rock impresario in the true life tale of Danny Sugarman, who authored a personal account of his experience managing the late Jim Morrison's rock group, The Doors.
Andy Garcia has made a name for himself with sympathetic cop roles in movies such as The Untouchables and Black Rain. Now he's playing a game of good cop, bad cop with co-star Richard Gere in the upcoming Internal Affairs, the focus of today's exclusive movie preview.
Internal Affairs is the most important division on the force. We have to be better than the other cops.
Andy Garcia and Richard Gere play two detectives at odds in Internal Affairs. Garcia, newly appointed to the force, discovers Gere is a bad cop, but has trouble convincing anyone.
All those friends you have on the force, you don't have them anymore.
The pressure mounts as Gere draws Garcia's wife into a game of revenge, and Gere's own criminal dealings start to heat up.
I want you to kill my mother and father. What? Rudy said 15,000. 15,000. Well, I could do it for 15,000.
And as the stakes get higher on both sides, Garcia tries to forge his own brand of justice against the tainted cop.
Can I trust you? Of course you can trust me. I'm a cop.
Internal Affairs hits movie screens on January 12th. Meantime, the nation's box offices seem to be rebounding from an unseasonable Christmas slump. In our estimates, The War of the Roses jumped back into first place, grossing $10.5 million for the weekend. Following a close second, Tango and Cash. The Little Mermaid came in third, and rounding out the top five, Back to the Future Part 2 and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which was in first place last week.
Sean Connery, best known for his portrayal of Agent 007 in the popular James Bond films, has moved on to more mature roles befitting his advancing years. Now he's back with a slew of new movies. We get the latest on them from Leonard Maltin.
Battle stations. Open the outer doors. Firing point procedures. We sail into history.
Sean Connery is busier than ever. He's just finished work on two movies with Russian themes. He plays the mysterious Russian submarine captain in The Hunt for Red October, and a British secret agent in the Soviet Union for The Russia House. And after making more than 50 movies in a career that spans nearly 35 years, Connery still loves to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yes. And as long as I find it stimulating and interesting, and also I think that as long as you do, then you can get better.
Connery's love interest in The Russia House is Michelle Pfeiffer, currently the screen's hottest leading lady. The fact that she's young enough to be his daughter doesn't seem to bother him a bit.
Oh, I think he's perfectly healthy and normal. I don't think there's anything. I mean, what about all these young guys with the older women?
That's just fine with you?
Absolutely. If somebody's attracted to somebody, then that's the end of it. It's assuming it's mutual. If it's not, then I suppose one of them has a great deal of work ahead.
Connery's no slouch in the sexy leading man category, even at age 59, as evidenced by the recent Sexiest Man Alive label given him by People magazine.
I've been kidded to death about it.
Why do you think women would say, this is a sexy man, this is not a sexy man?
It's real sort of, that's a minefield. I really don't, I'm not very good at that. And working out what goes on in the women's minds. I'm not very skillful in that area.
But fortunately for us, he is skillful at his craft. He wants to make movies for many years to come. Leonard Maltin, Entertainment Tonight.
Thanks, Leonard. The Hunt for Red October is scheduled for release the first week of March, with The Russia House following up sometime late in the year.
In Miami Vice, Philip Michael Thomas used to race around the fabled city's causeways in hot cars. These days, he gets around on a souped-up motorcycle for a new role he's playing on Superboy.
Come on, we'll wait some time.
Philip Michael Thomas guest stars on Superboy as Brimstone, a bounty hunter with supernatural powers who helps Lana Lang and Superboy.
He's a magician, and he actually saved Superboy from this 200-year-old, they call him Brujo, who is like a sorcerer that has doomed people to damnation eternally.
Thomas was a Superboy fan in his youth, and this show gave him a chance to act out a childhood fantasy.
I remember growing up, with the DC comic books. I mean, reading them on and on. One of my favorite heroes. That's one of the reasons why I chose to do it, is because I've always loved, justice, freedom, the American way,
Good man. As soon as he got here, everybody got in a good mood. Stick around.
Thomas says it was fun to work with Superboy star Gerard Christopher and experience some of the special effects on the show.
We were on the motorbike flying, and Superboy picks Lana and I up. It was just great. I said, wow, this is great. This is great.
The seasonal favorite Peter and the Wolf had a different wrinkle for the new year as Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North read the story to a packed house in Washington, D.C.
The bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf snapped angrily from side to side.
The popular Prokofiev classic Peter and the Wolf was narrated by Iran-Contra figure Oliver North for Washington's Beethoven Society. The occasion was a children's benefit.
A great show.
In Los Angeles, there was music from symphonic to pop as stars helped celebrate the 25th anniversary of the city's music center. The gala evening will air as a special on PBS.
That class in music, it's a little overwhelming for me. I'm so used to, you know, Iggy Pop and the Sex Pistols.
And in Boston, at an Aerosmith concert, free backstage passes were given to fans who brought canned food to benefit the homeless.
You know, there's people out there that are freezing their butts off right now, sitting on a grating, and I'm up here singing to 40,000 people standing on a grating with lights under it, and it's like, you know, if I can do something to help them, you know, why then we do.
Well said. Tomorrow, Rock Hudson, the inside story on his secret life that's becoming a TV movie.
And we're going to say goodnight as we go back to the Los Angeles Music Center with music from the Nutcracker and dancing from a touring troupe of Soviet dancers.
Enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
And we have another late night date with the Entertainment Tonight team tomorrow at the same time at 3:15.